Pictures that we are getting right now of the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz arriving for the G20 Summit, and as has been customary, there is a cultural program to welcome him over there. A minister designated by the Indian government will be welcoming him at the airport. Germany, of course, part of the G20, one of the largest industrialized nations, also part of the G7. And we are given to understand that there is also a bilateral between India and Germany. Lots of issues to be discussed between the two sides. But apart from that, Germany, one of the big industrialized nations, one of the big economies of the world as well. But at present also dealing with the issue of high energy prices. Do remember that Germany was at the forefront when the Ukraine war began in terms of being able to look for solutions of green energy. Pictures on your screen right now, of course, of the German Chancellor arriving in the national capital. Now, today, of course, is going to be a hectic day for all the leaders. The summit begins at about 9 o'clock, the G20 Summit, and thereafter, it's a packed day for these leaders. There is the first session, which is going to be held at the Bharat Mandapam, which lasts about 3 hours, and thereafter, of course, there is a working lunch. Now, it's during that working lunch that we are learning that there will be several bilaterals that will be held. Now, even as this happens, of course, the focus for Germany as well as for several other countries is going to remain on basically debt issues that are plaguing the world. That's one of the key things that this summit is going to be looking at. Now, apart from that, of course, there are issues like green energy as well as the war in Ukraine that are likely to take center stage. Now, for India, of course, it has been a vexing issue how to go about that, because the Chinese and the Russian presidents will not be coming for the summit, and obviously that has been a bit of a setback. But really the United States set the tone when they said that it is up to them to play spoilers, specifically aimed, of course, at the Chinese Premier Xi Jinping. Pictures on your screen right now are of the German Chancellor arriving in New Delhi. Shivangi is joining us live right now. Shivangi, good morning. It's looking like a busy day. It's already begun with the German Chancellor coming into New Delhi. Give us a sense of how the day progresses for all these G20 leaders.
All right, just let's go through the schedule first, Nupur, because right now the schedule is for day one. So day one, we are seeing the leaders and delegation heading to Bharat Mandapam. So 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. is where they will go to Bharat Mandapam, where our colleagues are going to be there. Soesha and Shravan are there already. That they will get us all the details from Bharat Mandapam, where the actual summit will be taking place. Then they will have the session One Earth at Summit Hall. But before we talk about that, Nupur, I just want to talk about where I am right now. This is Delhi Heart. This is Delhi Heart, and a very popular shopping destination in Delhi, where you get a lot of artifacts, a lot of shopping can be done here, where you get all kinds of Indian origin things, and it could be anything. It could be clothes, it could be jewelry, it could be any kind of pots. Anything that you need that is Indian and that has which has a beautiful value to it, beautiful aesthetic to it. That you can get in Delhi Heart, and people come from all over in Delhi itself, from India. But it's very special because we're expecting that a lot of delegates and their wives will be coming to Delhi Heart for shopping and to have a look. So this is Delhi Heart. These are the visuals of Delhi Heart that you can see here. And this has also been decked up. If you can see that Delhi Heart has also been decked up. It's all ready to welcome the delegates. The entire area has been cleared. You can see there, Nupur, entire area has been cleared. And we can expect that a lot of delegates will be coming here to have a look at multiple places in New Delhi. Now, not just Delhi Heart, we can expect Qutub Minar, India Gate, Akshardham, Lotus Temple, Delhi Heart, of course, being one of them, to be the places where delegates and their spouses will be visiting. So, Nupur, I'm handing it back to you as we keep showing you visuals coming in from Delhi Heart, where we are seeing that at this point of time, soon we will be seeing delegates come to Delhi Heart and other places here in New Delhi, including India Gate, Akshardham, and other areas. Handing it back to you.
All right, Shivangi, do stay on with us. We'll come back to you later. But pictures on your screen are of the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, who's arriving now. Just before he set off for India, he's made an important statement saying that there is a huge responsibility for the G20 to fulfill, despite the fact that China's president has decided to give it a miss. To remember that he's not given a reason for it. So Aisha also joining us live from the Bharat Mandapam right now. So Aisha, pictures on your screen are of the German Chancellor arriving. Now, there have been a couple of important statements made by Germany before Olaf Scholz came in. One, of course, is the fact that they believe still that the G20, despite the absences of the Russian president and the Chinese president, has an important role to play. Also, for Germany, the focus over the past few years has been green energy, and even their ambassador, you know, in their various interviews has spoken about that.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And let's also understand, Nupur, that while the centre has continued to maintain that, with the Chinese Premier and Russian President Vladimir Putin not coming to India, it is not going to have a very large consequence when it comes to the G20 Summit. But yesterday also there was a statement from a very senior US official where he went on to say that there is certainly disappointment on that front. Having said that, the big challenge, of course, now is that it is the Delhi Declaration that should be able to find a consensus with the G20 leaders, and that is what is important. Prime Minister Modi, who had also put out a tweet to this effect, where he had gone on to say that he is now hoping for 2 productive days of fruitful discussions that may turn out and be the final outcome of this big G20 summit, which has been his dream, and work on this has been happening from 2018 onwards. Let me quickly take you through the schedule that is lined up for today and tomorrow. Today being day 1 of the summit, between 9:30 and 10:30 is when the leaders and the heads of delegations will arrive at the Bharat Mandapam. There will be a welcome picture with the Prime Minister at the Tree of Life foyer. After that, the leaders will assemble at the level 2, that is the Leaders Lounge. 10:30 to 1:30 is the first session, which is One Earth. It will take place at the Summit Hall. It will be followed by lunch. After that, there will be several bilateral meetings between 1:30 and 3:30, followed by 3:30 to 4:45 is the second session, which is One Family. It will again take place at the Summit venue. And after that, the leaders will return to their hotels. 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. is when the leaders and the heads of delegation will arrive for dinner, beginning with a welcome photograph on their arrival. 8 to 9 is the dinner, where the leaders will engage in talks over their meals. And 9 to 9:45, leaders and heads of delegation will assemble in the Leaders Lounge at Bharat Mandapam to bring the day to a close. After that, day 2, that is tomorrow, at 8:15 to 9, we can see the leaders arriving and the heads of delegations in their individual motorcades at Rajghat. They will sign and a signing of the peace wall that will follow at the Leaders Lounge at Rajghat. 9 to 9:20 is when the world leaders will lay wreath at Mahatma Gandhi's Samadhi, followed by a live performance of Mahatma Gandhi's favorite devotional songs. Subsequently, leaders and heads of delegations who will move to Bharat Mandapam's Leaders Lounge. 9:40 to 10:15 is when the leaders will arrive and the heads of delegations at the Bharat Mandapam. 10:15 to 10:30, tree planting ceremony at Bharat Mandapam South Plaza. And 10:30 to 12:30, the final and the third session, which is One Future, that will take place at the venue, followed by the adoption of the New Delhi Leaders Declaration, which of course will be spoken at in greater detail, spoken about in greater detail once there is a consensus on that. But like we understand that this is the schedule that really follows for the 2 days, after which the respective leaders will depart for their own countries. Once again, just to take you through the details of India's G20 presidency, where the focus is on 4 key financial matters that include global south and industrial economies, growth strategies, restructuring multilateral development banks for inclusive global growth, leveraging digital technology for societal development, and exploring the potential of a new technology for common good. People aware with the development is what has come in. Now, let's also understand that India is being looked at as a balancing power to really bring in inclusivity, and that is the motto of the G20 Summit, that is themed Vasudev Kutumbakam, One Earth, One Family, One Future, and how we are also gathering statements from several world leaders who are hailing Prime Minister Modi's leadership and his vision. And India, a lot of hopes really, not only when it comes to representing the voice of the global south, but also the underdeveloped nations. Like you were saying, Nupur, that several bilaterals that are lined up even today. So all in all, there were 15. But yesterday, the 50-minute talk between Joe Biden and Narendra Modi, where, of course, it was decided that defense ties will deepen and there will be cooperation in nuclear energy, technology and artificial intelligence. So we are eyeing what happens in terms of the discussions between the world leaders. But just to give you some quick facts on the Bharat Mandapam, as I was engaging with the people who have worked in great detail on this very structure that will be open to the public after the G20 Summit, and also, Nupur, how literally from 2018, there have been 7,000 to 8,000 people who've been working to develop this structure and make it look how it looks today. In fact, even during COVID, actually the G20 Summit was to happen in 21, but due to COVID there was a delay, and even then the pace of the work did not slow down in any way.
Absolutely, Suesha. The Bharat Mandapam was inaugurated a while back, and it was, quite a sight for everybody. So we're going to come back to you in just a bit. But the German Chancellor, as he arrived, of course, was wearing that eye patch, the result of a jogging incident, and thereafter, of course, he did take to X, asking people for memes, so making light of that incident. But pictures, of course, are of the various arrivals of our leaders. Now, New Delhi, of course, is playing host to the G20 Summit like no other. Here's a list of a series of milestones India achieved on the road to the G20 Summit, the Bharat Mandapam being one of them.
India has proved its G20 leadership by achieving several milestones. Firstly, India led the G20 Foreign Ministers meet and delivered a comprehensive document on critical themes for member states. And India has also hosted the inaugural summit with 125 countries to voice the concerns and priorities of the developing world.